Okay, welcome to part 3 of the backpack gear. A couple other things that I hadn't included before, which I probably should have. You're going to want to have some sort of rain protection, something to cover you from the elements, in case of a downpour, heavy fog, whatever. Because when you get damp and wet, you are now miserable, and you are going to stay miserable. So either get yourself just one of these cheap, inexpensive throw-on emergency ponchos. If you don't want to go that route and spend any more money, grab yourself a garbage bag. Garbage bags work like a charm. All you need to do is cut 2 arm slits at the top of it and a head spot, throw it on, instant poncho. Speaking of bags, you want to carry yourself a couple extra plastic bags. Me personally, I use the thicker, heavier grade freezer bags, and I do that for many reasons. One, they're excellent for dry storage. The other thing is, if you follow the leave no trail principles, everything that you have packed in, you pack back out. That includes all of your garbage, anything you do not want to leave behind. You want it to look the same way it did when you came in as when you leave. So pack everything back out. These come in real handy as far as just throwing your paper goods and food wrappers, trash, ripped up, torn clothing, whatever you have. Carry these and pack your stuff back out, please. This is the emergency card I made mention of before. Make sure you carry that on your persons at all times. Some people prefer compasses. Personally, I don't like using them unless it's a whole new terrain for me and I'm comparing to maps and elevations and things of that such. So I don't even bother carrying them. Some people do. Maybe something you might want to consider carrying, but you need to know how to use it, because it's not going to do you any good if you don't know how to take bearings. And in the interim, I found my smaller tool. This now has replaced the other one that I showed you previous, because it's more compact, but it has all the same functions as the previous. Same thing, all just folds right up to nothing. That's my finished product right there. Lightweight, and this one even has the advantages of different wrench sizes on it, in case you have a pack that requires, you know, the nuts, bolts, whatever. You have it. One thing that I want to caution you on is fires. Most of your state parks and even your private lands have issues with fires, and it's understandable. But in a backpacking situation, always carry a fire starting kit with you, just in case you do need it. Granted, you may be violating the law, but it may also be saving your life. The ramifications of that can come later. I personally would rather pay the fine than pay for the funeral. That's just my philosophy on it. If you're going to backpack, I suggest you get out there and you try a couple of different methods of building fire pits. Learn some of the safety stuff, clear your area, set your rock bed, etc., until you're comfortable enough with that. Because what you don't want to do is engulf the entire national forest. So get out there, learn that skill, because it may save your life. And aside from food and water, a heating source is your next enemy and your lifesaver. Just as a general idea, this is what I carry on my pack. This is just a regular old plano little fish tackle box. got compartments in it, and I utilize those compartments. I carry with me chopped up fine little tinder pieces. All they are is just cut up pieces of wood. These are probably from a 2x4 or whatever, I don't know. But I carry plenty of them. Cotton balls. Several cotton balls. And I mentioned to you before the alcohol pads, the swabs. This is a great use for them. They're 70% isopropyl alcohol, and they burn instantly. So if you're in need of a fire and a fire quickly, there you go. Waterproof matches. You can buy them already pre-made, or you can waterproof them yourself, and I'll go into a whole separate video on that. It's just a matter of utilizing candle wax. And you can waterproof any match. But as a quick demonstration, I'll show you just how quickly you can start a fire. There are many different ways to start fires, with or without flame. I don't know if I can get this camera to pick up on exactly what I'm going to do here. But just as a general rule, all you need, a little piece of cotton ball. Take an alcohol prep pad. And a couple of pieces of your tinder. And what you actually want to do is take the prep pad, if I can hold on to it, wrap it around the tip and squeeze to about the count of 3. On each little piece, you only need maybe 2 or 3 to start. That's it. Just enough for the alcohol to touch and get into the wood. You're going to take your prep pad, it's folded. Just take one corner back and fold it so that you have something sticking up. Stick that underneath your cotton ball and your tinder. Take your match, and all you got to do is just touch your alcohol pad. That instant, you have fire. That's how quickly it will ignite. And of course, as it burns, you add a few more smaller tinders and add your larger pieces until you get the fire to the size that you want. It's that simple. So they do have more than one use. For those of you that don't want to carry the extra, such as the tackle box and the fire starting kit and all that and everything, there is an alternative. It's real simple, it's inexpensive, it's lightweight. You find yourself some really fine steel wool. You know, you can buy the little bricks like steel wool pads, and carry yourself a little square 9-volt battery. That's all you need to make a fire. Just for purposes. If this is my steel wool, this is my battery, you take your contact points, you rub it like that onto the steel wool, instantly you have red ambers. A couple of breaths of air blowing on it, you have flame. Same principle. There are many methods to use to start fire, even if you don't have a flame. But I will go into that in a whole separate section and video. I mean, I've started fire literally with water. I've started fire with ice, with glass, with aluminum. There's many different methods. Each one has its pros, has its cons, but in general. So, basically, that is the basic stuff for backpacks. But I will go into a lot more detail in specific videos because they're, like I said before, I mean, each item in itself is no more important than the other. There's proper ways of doing stuff. There's methods that you can do to reduce weight, increase comfort, increase your knowledge. I mean, there's a lot more to it than people think, other than just, oh, we'll throw a bag on our back and go for a hike. Well, that may be your last hike. So I can't caution you enough. Even though it seems trivial, every little detail makes all the bit of difference in either a successful backpacking trip or a possible disastrous one. So